This thing is so plush, so quiet. Oh my gosh, you can just send it off of everything.
In today's video, we're headed to North Vancouver to test out the Archibald Cycles AC1, a custom-built steel-framed beast.
Wow. Holy this is not safe.
Equipped with a gearbox and available in builds that range from trail bike to full-on downhill rig.
Oh my gosh, so very fun.
Today we're taking on steep loamers, gnarly chunk, a few big jumps,
Woohoo! Sweet!
and even some classic North Shore woodwork.
Ooh!
Stick around to the end to find out if the AC1 with a gearbox is the ultimate bike,
This bike is incredible.
or just too heavy and unconventional for real-world riding.
Oh no!
All right, today we've got a very interesting one coming at you. We have the Archibald Cycles AC1. This bike is very interesting for a number of reasons. These bikes are made right here in Vancouver, British Columbia. They are custom-made steel bikes, and in this video we're gonna let you know what a gearbox feels like, if this bike is actually as quiet as everybody says it is, and what does a bike that has custom geometry feel like. We're also going to touch on some of the things that we got to talk with Alex, the owner and creator of Archibald Cycles, about. This one that we're riding today has the Pinion Gearbox with the belt drive system. We're gonna go out on a ride with Alex, the owner, and Ole Lothorpe to see what it can do on some North Vancouver gnar. Here we go.
We just got shuttled up Mount Seymour and are gonna test the AC1 on steep loamers, gnarly chunk, jumps, and even some classic North Shore woodwork.
All right, getting going on the Archibald Cycles. Don't even have time to shift or anything. Trying to get used to everything. So right now I'm riding behind Alex and then Ole. I'm riding Alex's bike, which is super cool. Got dual crown.
This DH version of the AC1 has a 200mm Manitou Dorado fork and 173mm four-sprung Tellum shock.
Whoa!
Feel?
Oh, so good. Amazing. Wow. Holy this is not safe. It's fast, it feels plush, it feels very light.
Probably like 7 pounds heavier than this, and you'd never know it.
You know what the other thing too is the lack of noise. I have to consciously think about it, that there's no noise.
It's so quiet. Oh my gosh, so very fun already.
Did you see the drop?
You just hit it anyways. If you just maintain speed off something like that, this will do all of the work. You'll just land and the bike will soak it up.
All right, this thing is so plush, so quiet. Oh my gosh, you can just send it off of everything.
Today, I'm riding an AC1 trail bike with a Fox 36, a 450mm reach, and an Gear gearbox.
Dude, you sent it off of that thing.
Woohoo!
These guys are holding a blistering pace and we're having to warm up fast.
Woo! Loamy.
You. Fun?
Yeah. I feel like it's almost too fun.
At this point, I'm starting to understand what the AC1 feels like, what it can do, and how hard I can push it.
Right off the bat, this bike was so much fun. It was plush, planted, still super playful, and wanted to go so fast.
The biggest thing I'm noticing is how balanced this bike feels. It's a 520mm reach, which is too long for me, but the bike still feels very lively and easy to get along with. Not to mention, I didn't get to weigh this thing, but I'm guessing it's somewhere around 40 pounds, and it sure doesn't feel like it.
With the gearbox, this bike was obviously super quiet, but one other thing that provides is a lack of feedback through the pedals, made for a super smooth ride.
The gearbox also puts your weight very low on the bike, which helps you to feel extra planted.
Oh my gosh, that's good dirt.
We absolutely did get blessed today with some of the best dirt and riding conditions that we've had all year.
Oh my gosh, this is incredible. Beautiful.
This bike being so well balanced makes me feel confident riding things like this, which I probably wouldn't have wanted to ride otherwise.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Wow. Dude, this bike is incredible.
That's fun, hey?
Yeah, it's so fun. That dirt is
Crazy, right?
Wow, it's so good.
Yeah.
This Dorado 200mm fork is soaking up a ton of the trail, so it'll be interesting to see what Emily thinks about having a smaller fork on this bike.
woo! Even though my bike only had a Fox 36, it had no problem on this trail. It was incredibly comfortable off the drops and smoothed out the chunkiest sections. This bike is so quiet. It is amazing.
The trail just got super chunky, but the bike handles it like a champ. You feel like you can put the bike wherever you want, and what the trail is throwing at you really doesn't matter. It just eats it up, and there's not a ton of feedback coming through the pedals.
Taking a little getting used to the shifting into an easier gear when I'm not on the pedals. The hard gear is a little more intuitive because you can just do it whenever.
When building your AC1, you can pick between the Gear Mimic or the Pinion Smart Shift. Emily's on the Gear and I'm on the Pinion Smart Shift.
The geometry feels super good, super plush, very confident, inspiring. On the down for a trail I don't know, feels light underneath me. Feels fun, like it wants to go very fast, probably faster than I'm willing to go.
Whew. That was fun. I rode a S5 Dreadnought recently.
Yep.
Felt great climbing, but as soon as I pointed it downhill, I couldn't turn it very well. This turns way better than that.
And this is slacker than what I would build for you, which makes it turn worse. It's fully a factor of front to rear balance because it allows equal weight distribution so you can load up the front more. It's balanced, right?
It is so balanced. Can't believe how balanced and planted it is, but then when I unweight, it unweights.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
This is a 1400mm wheelbase. Yeah, and it's playful.
Props.
Thank you.
Oh, this bike is just so planted.
So we hit the loamers, but now we're going to get the roots, the rocks, and a ton of chunk to test what this bike is capable of and see if it wasn't just a fluke in that nice dirt.
Phew.
Woohoo! Sweet!
So people talk about bikes feeling bottomless. Well, this is the most bottomless bike that I have ever felt, but it's not without support. It feels like you land in a bed full of foam every time you hit the ground. So it feels good, but you're still in control.
Oh, this bike is so fun.
I'm sure this bike has its limits like all bikes do, but we're hitting some pretty gnarly stuff, and it doesn't feel like we're anywhere close to hitting those limits.
Woohoo!
Next up, we've got a bit of a jump trail, and to be honest, I was expecting this bike to not perform so well. When you've got a suspension that feels this cushy, it usually doesn't give back when you push into a lip of a jump. But again, I was surprised at how well I was able to get this bike into the air.
Oh, it was so fun. That was a lot of fun.
That's fun.
Next up, North Shore Woodwork to test the balance and confidence this bike gives you.
So cushy, amazing. Oh, skinnies. Oh, wrong way.
Classic North Shore trails here. Woodwork. On a bike.
Oh, You never hear the landing. The hardest part about these bikes is your friend's bike.
So true. I'm gonna put it on the video. I'm gonna be like, the loudest part about this bike was my bike behind it.
Quiet down. Yeah, geez, I was enjoying this trail until you got here. You should do that.
Say with confidence, I'm not riding the skinnies. Nope. Ah! Ooh. Ah! Abort! That was the extent of my skinny riding. Go by me, Joe. Go, go, go. Ah! Ah!
I was like, I can't go.
This bike saves you from making bad decisions, or saves your bad decisions. Yep. I don't know how to get out of here, so I'm just gonna take this roll. Noise.
So now's our chance to test the climbing ability of this bike as well as the Pinion Gearbox with the belt drive. So listen up, can you hear noise in the easiest gear? If you can, your hearing's better than mine, because my cassette and derailleur make more noise than this on a regular basis. And for the climbing, you know, I wouldn't say this bike climbs great, but it climbs plenty well for me. It's supposed to be a downhill machine, and if you want to have a bike that climbs better, that is like this, you could get the trail version, and I bet that climbs awesome. Lastly, let's talk about the shifting of the gearbox. You just have to change up the timing of when you're shifting and when you're letting off the pedals just a bit. Instead of unweighting right after you click the shifter like you would on a cassette bike, you unweight right as you click the shifter on this bike. Once you get it, it's no big deal at all, super easy.
Whew. Back to my own bike, gotta feel this guy out.
In order to really do a test and see what the AC1 felt like, I got back on my bike to see if I could really feel a difference.
Well, that feels different. Whew. So different right away. Oh my gosh. On that one, I'm like, I can get myself in trouble and it's fine. On this bike, I'm like, oh shoot, I'm not sure if I should roll that. And just like you kind of point it, you're like, oh, I don't really care about that. I'm just gonna hit that catch right there and push out of the berm. And whatever was before it, whatever.
Yeah.
Alright, listen up. I feel like my bike is fairly quiet, but when you compare it to the AC1, it's like a semi-truck rolling down a dirt road. Listen up for yourself. Also, in case you can't tell, this is very steep.
Nice standing start. I like it.
Don't get me wrong, I think my Rocky Mountain Altitude is one of the best, if not the best bikes that I have ever owned. So that just goes to show you how good I think the AC1 is. And this is a great example. This trail is super gnarly and I've just always wanted to ride it, and I wouldn't have done it if I wasn't feeling very confident on any bike I was riding.
As we are nearing the end of this ride, I am completely convinced that Alex has used some sort of witchcraft to create one of the most fun bikes I have ever ridden. Woohoo!
A little more bashing on my bike to get to the final thoughts coming up on the AC1.
Okay, we just finished up riding this bike and I have some thoughts. First of all, for the gearbox, I felt like once you got used to it, it was nothing but easy to use, I didn't really notice any quirks or anything that would deter me from wanting a gearbox bike. I could hear a little bit more noise in the gearbox when I was in the easier gears, but it wasn't enough to deter me at all. My derailleur and my cassette makes that much noise once I get it dirty every single ride. So I don't think that it's any kind of reason to avoid having a gearbox. The only things that I can see about a gearbox are upsides. I know there's easy maintenance, it's easy to use, it's quiet. There's really nothing that I think that would deter me from wanting a gearbox. How quiet is this bike? Well, the interesting thing about this is that you have to ask yourself when you're riding, is the bike making any noise? Because when you have a bike that doesn't make any noise, you don't think about it not making any noise, you just think about riding your bike.
Oh my gosh, you can just send it off of everything.
It's when the bike makes noise that you're consciously thinking about that noise that's happening and wondering why your bike is making that noise. Holy smokes, this thing has no noise coming from it, whether you're going down like super chunky, gnarly downhill, or whether you're sending it off of a drop. It's just the tires hitting the root or the dirt or the ground or whatever it may be that you hear. As for custom geometry and what does that feel like? Well, this bike is actually too big for me. It's a 520 reach. I'm used to riding a 480 to 500 reach. But because this bike is so well balanced, I found that it was very intuitive to ride. It took me about 3 corners to get into it. Basically, the bike was able to go faster than I was able to ride it. The cool thing about this bike, and what really stood out to me, is that it's too big of a bike for me, but it still felt very nimble, very playful, easy to turn, easy to unweight. And I think that that all comes down to all of the weight being down lower in the bike, not having a bunch of weight in the cassette, and then having the unsprung weight from the upside down fork. All of those things come together to make a bike that feels pretty heavy when you lift it up, but when you're riding it, it feels super nimble. Quick in the corners, quick out of the corners, easy to unweight, easy to jump. There was even a couple times that I had to pull for things and surprised myself how easy it was to ride this bike. Now there's a couple things that I would change if I had this bike for myself. First being that I would want one that was a little bit shorter. I would want the handlebars to be a little bit narrower, but there's a lot of things that I really loved about this bike. And some highlights for me is that you can set this bike up to be multiple things. You could get this bike in a custom geometry where you would have a consultation to get the bike exactly set up to how you want it, getting the geometry just right. That was a question that I always had about Archibald Cycles, is how did they get that custom geometry just right? Well, coming from a very technical fitness background, where I'm always looking at angles on how to lift really heavy things as best you possibly can, Alex comes from that same kind of eyeball for a bike riding position. So he can see how you're riding a bike and see how things need to change in order for you to ride a bike better. And then he makes that bike for you, and this is the product that you get. I think that that was something that I wasn't 100% clear on how it worked, but I'm completely sold now that that is a great way to buy a bike if having a bulletproof steel bike that doesn't have a derailleur, that hardly needs any maintenance, is something that you're looking for. Very cool. I think that these guys are changing the game as far as how comfortable and capable a bike can be because it's made for you. I think that this bike company is gonna blow up. I really don't have a lot of bad things to say about them. Bikes that I could compare this to that I've ridden recently, and the only one that I could think of that comes to mind is the Forbidden Dreadnought in a size S5, which is the longer one that I got to test recently. It had the same kind of feel in the cockpit, but as soon as I started to unweight or corner on the Dreadnought, it was much more lethargic. than the Archibald bike. The Archibald bike, even as a bigger bike for me, was able to just corner better, unweight better, jump better, all of those things. That had a similar kind of feeling to it. I think this bike is for the person that wants a bike that will fit them really, really well and have somebody who is an expert help them get to that specific fit. Then it could also be for the person that wants one bike that can do multiple things. So you've got a bulletproof frame that has a couple different size forks, a couple different size shocks, and you can, you know, ride it on your local trails all winter long, and then come to bike park season, you throw on your bigger gear and you're ready to go romp in the bike park. If you have any questions about Archibald Cycles that I can answer, you can put them down in the comments below and I will do my best to get those answered for you, or just check out Archibald Cycles website. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and the riding content as much as I enjoyed riding this bike. And if we can do any other bike reviews in the future that you think would be interesting, please let us know by dropping that in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Have yourself a fantastic rest of your day.